You are now listening to the Someone's Favorite Productions podcast network.
Welcome back to the official Deaf Crocodile Podcast, to the first official recording for 2026, and animation is back on the docket, boys. How are we doing today?
Hello, Ryan.
Always good to be with you, Ryan.
Nice to see you back home, Craig. It is wonderful to see you here and happy and fully relaxed and put together. Dennis, I already said it, but your hair is looking magnificent today.
Why, thank you very much. As I've said, I've sort of reached that age where just having hair is...
a bit jealous that you have a full head of hair, even if it is going for a silver Farrah Fawcett kind of thing.
Silver. That's the first time I've heard that, but I'm actually really touched. Of course, I loved Farrah Fawcett growing up. So.
Yeah, for those that have not seen a video or picture of the Deaf Crocodile gents, Dennis is definitely wearing the wig for all of Deaf Crocodile, that's for sure.
That's really funny. Well, they say that the longer you're with someone, you start to look like each other, and Maria, my wife, and I are now, as people put it, the sexy Mrs. and Mr. Santa Claus, because we both have kind of silvery white hair now. So
looking great. Last month we did a full roundup of the last year of Deaf Crocodile stuff, but this year we've got so much on the future plans that I can't wait. We started with a brand new social media person, which you all have been introduced to, Chris. We'll get him on one of our upcoming episodes here the next couple months. But for now, we are back with some excellent animation, and I cannot wait to talk about some of this. Dennis, let's hear about Song of the Miraculous Hind first.
Yeah, this February is an all animation month for us. The Song of the Miraculous Hind is another amazing, just visually spectacular animated film from the great Hungarian director and animator Marcel Jankovic, who we've been involved with kind of restoring and releasing his films for quite a while now. Craig actually worked with him with our previous companies on restoring The Son of the White Mare, which is probably his most famous film. We also released this past summer The Tragedy of Man, which is his legendary, almost 3.5 hour animated epic. It's one of the most ambitious and longest animated films ever produced. And The Song of the Miraculous Hind is his unbelievable attempt to can portray and encapsulate like 50,000 years in Hungarian/Magyar history, culture, and mythology. It's told in 4 different segments, kind of beginning with nomadic Ice Age hunters, and then ending in the medieval period with the struggle between paganism and Christianity, and incorporates all of these unbelievably beautiful artistic traditions from Scythia, Iran, Turkey, incorporates early Siberian and Finno-Ugric legends. So this is the kind of incredible cross-pollination of artistic and cultural history and traditions that went into forming what is this modern state of Hungary. And Jankovic, throughout his career, as you can tell if you've seen his earlier films, like The Son of the White Mare, was fascinated by Hungarian mythology and culture. And this may be his single, I think, most ambitious attempt. Funny enough, this was his follow-up film to The Son of the White Mare, which was actually made 2 decades earlier. In the intervening years, he had worked on a lot of television animation, and he was actually still in production on The Tragedy of Man, which took 23 years to finish, while he made this entire other feature film, The Song of the Miraculous Hind. So I would say, if you are a fan of Yankovic's work in Son of the White Mare, in Janos Vitej, Johnny Corncob, in Tragedy of Man, you will love The Song of the Miraculous Hind. Visually, it is, I think, easily the equal of Son of the White Mare and his other great masterpieces. I think it has maybe been less well known or less exposed because it does focus very specifically on Hungarian mythology, culture, and all of the different historical traditions that went into that. You see it now, though, and it is
it was also kind of made more as a educational film than a popular, theatrical release. So it, it didn't get the exposure that his other stuff did. It's kind of interesting that he was working on Tragedy of Man, which he tried encompassing all of history, and then he narrowed his vision to just the 50,000 years of Hungarian history for this one.
Can we just for a moment talk about how funny it is to describe The Tragedy of Man to other people? What's in the movie? Everything.
Yeah. From the creation of the universe to the future and everything in between.
Oh, ancient Egypt, ancient Rome, the Reign of Terror during the French Revolution, to thousands of years in the future. And then he's like, well, I'm just going to narrow it down to Hungarian. I'm taking on the history of mankind, but I'll just narrow it down to the history of Hungarians for The Song of the Miraculous Hind. Oh.
And it's not, I'm certainly not alone in this. It's what he's best known for, but his way of transforming things from one object to another or one creature to another is just so fascinating to see how he does it. And it's seamless, but at the same time, it's kind of brilliant. Lots of that in this, in Song of the Miraculous Hind. It's really beautiful. And again, different styles of animation. He's got his more kind of graphical design work, and then he's got stuff that looks like very much like a painting come to life, and various different styles in between. It's really gorgeous.
Nice.
Well, and we should give an enormous shout out to our great friends and colleagues with the National Film Institute Film Archive in Budapest, who have beautifully restored and cared for Yankovic's artistic legacy in his films, and they did a gorgeous job restoring and preserving Song of the Miraculous Hind. Now, Craig, you actually worked with Yankovic on Son of the White Mare before he passed away.
Not directly, but yeah, we got input from him on the color grade for that. And then speaking color grade for Song of the Miraculous Hind, we were given a really beautiful restored 4K file. And we thought it just makes sense if we've got that and how popular his stuff is. Well, we should release this in 4K. So we handed off that 4K file to Tyler, who is just a genius. And he did a HDR pass. So this will be coming out in 4K HDR Dolby Vision. And he said that the source element was so great that the HDR looks great, but also the SDR, he's like, is kind of stunning as well. Like it's going to be a beautiful, beautiful release. If you've got a nice HDR 4K TV, this is going to look stunning.
Well, and I know you've shared this before, but there is a great anecdote about the restoration of Son of the White Mare, and Yankovic had asked to kind of significantly change the color grade in a couple of sequences.
Yeah, there were a couple of scenes that, I mean, you know, you kind of, with animation, you kind of know what it was supposed to look like, because they don't typically grade the color in the lab with animation, because you've got full control, so you just shoot the animation the way you drew it. But there were a couple of scenes that he dramatically changed. I think they were like blue and green, and then he turned them to like brown or something. It wasn't subtle. It was a very different change. And so, you know, we did what he asked.
And you, I think, told him, you said, you know, Marcel, this isn't like it was in the original, so we are changing this significantly. And what was his response?
It's what he wanted it to be. It's, yeah. I mean, it's a issue that comes up all the time with restoring a film, is especially if the filmmakers are still around. You know, they change their mind. It's a project that they've been working on for 30 years, and anybody who's ever really done anything remotely creative after they're done, they're never really, you know, there's always something they wish, like, I should have done that, or I should have done this. And a film that's getting, you know, a new restoration is a rare opportunity that you get to be like, hey, I can do all those things I wanted to do. Most of the time it's like, well, it is what it is. But in these cases, it does give filmmakers that chance to fix those things that have been bugging them for the last 30 years.
Which isn't to say that he changed Son of the White Mare enormously, but there were a few. No, it's just a couple of scenes that he wanted to tweak, and he said, yeah, this is what I wanted it to look like back then, and we weren't able to achieve it in the early 1980s when it came out, so I'm going to fix it now because I can. So it is interesting. I mean, I think I've probably mentioned this one before, but I remember reading or hearing an interview with Martin Scorsese when they did a restoration of Taxi Driver, that because they went back to the original negative, they actually had the opportunity at that point to make that final scene that is so desaturated, because they wanted the R rating. They had to get rid of the bright red blood, that they could do that. Like, they could go back to what it actually looked like. And he said, like, you know, kind of went back and forth. Like, he's like, well, this is like it, the way people have seen it, that was the final film. That's how it was. So they ultimately decided to leave it kind of looking muddy at the end there, because he was like, that is the film. He's like, might not have been what we intended, but that was the film. So they kept it that way, but they actually could have got rid of that desaturation.
I'm kind of curious to hear about what was changed. Can we give an example of one of the pieces of feedback that he wanted to tweak on this?
It was minor stuff. It was, you know, there was, I think it's been so long ago. I think there was a rope. There's a scene with a rope, and he completely changed the color of the rope. It was minor things like that. It was just, they clearly weren't that color. Like, he changed the color of certain items in a couple of scenes. So they were dramatic changes, but not in any sort of context of the film. It didn't really change the film. So that's why we didn't really push back too hard. It's not like he was like, I want the entire film to look different. It's like, no, I want that rope this color, or I want, you know, the back, you know, the tree in this shot should be this color, you know.
Well, and the amazing thing is that Yankovic's work is now getting so much better known and appreciated. outside of Hungary. I think, for decades, he was always considered one of the great masters of modern animation in Hungary. And now more and more people worldwide are getting to appreciate his films. So we are thrilled. We also love this particular kind of style of, I guess you would call, sort of cosmic world animation. And interestingly, we're going to be working on restoring another film by the great American animator Faith Hubley, who worked for many years with her husband, John. And then after he passed away, she continued to make incredible films herself. And completely different kind of mythological underpinnings, and yet very similar in terms of that sort of cosmic world animation vibe. And so we're, again, this really sort of hits the sweet spot for us in terms of the kind of world animation that we love to showcase.
Gosh, so much I want to say about Miraculous Hind. First of all, I know that both have already touched on it, but this film, if you've never seen this film, it will blow your mind. The file that was submitted for this disc is shockingly beautiful. Like, genuinely, you can freeze frame anything in this movie and put it in an art gallery. It is just stupendous. But based on what Deaf Crocodile always does, that's not enough. There's always more things to make that box more enticing for people. So what do we got going on this release there, Craig?
I knew you were going to ask that. You think I'm ready, huh?
I would hope so.
Commentary track, as always, and we've really kind of fallen in love with these guys. Adam Rakoff, James Hancock, and Martin Kessler. The three of them, I just really, really love listening to the three of them talk animation, and that's become obvious because we keep using them over and over and over again. And they turned in another great commentary track for this one. And speaking of going back to the well, Evan Chester has been contributing visual essays for, I think, almost all of our animated stuff. And he's got a new visual essay for this one, about 17 minutes long. Always great, informative visual essays from him. And then Dennis moderated an interview with members of the animation team that worked on the film. And that's, as usual, one of our long-form interviews. We don't just do like 15-minute little sound bites. Like, we actually have, in-depth interviews, which I really like. You get so much information. And if I recall correctly, somebody helped us out with that and made it much easier to watch, because it was we had a live translation because they were speaking Hungarian, and Ryan was kind enough to edit that together to cut out all of the back and forth that isn't English. So instead of being almost 2 hours long, it's 50 minutes long. You did a great job. It's a great interview, and you edited in scenes from the film, and it's really, really great interview. I don't know if you're going to be happy that we really liked what you did, because you're probably going to have to do more of this.
Well, the other thing that I really want to highlight here is you're talking about the short sound bites that a lot of other labels do on releases like this. You guys are not touching people that have been interviewed 800 times in English. So there's a lot more that we don't know about these people. And this interview in particular, Dennis is asking about people's upbringing and how their parents occupations affected the way that they got into the industry and stuff. And that sort of thing is fascinating and should be captured somewhere. So yeah, I truly love interviews like this.
Well, Dennis has this incredible history of interviewing people in the industry for decades at the Cinematheque. So like he knows what to ask and knows that, something like what did your parents do does directly tie into how you ended up doing what you do. It's Dennis is the perfect person to do these interviews.
Well, we were really lucky that we were able to interview two of Yankovic's creative partners on Song of the Miraculous Hind. The film's composer is a really famous figure in Hungarian music named Levente Szerényi, and he's one of the founders of a legendary Hungarian rock band named Illes, ILLES, which started in the mid-'60s playing kind of beat music and then evolved into psychedelia. And they're like the Hungarian cream. They're just super famous and beloved. And in fact, I had one of his late 1960s albums from Illes that I showed him during the interview, and he was really, I think, kind of like tickled pink that I knew his early music. And he had been very good friends with Yankovic, and in fact, I think it kind of helped sort of suggest the conceptual framework, the story for Song of the Miraculous Hind, and trying to visualize and encapsulate all of these amazing periods in Hungarian history and mythology. And then we also had animator Piroshka Marca, who collaborated with Yankovic for many years. We had previously interviewed her for The Tragedy of Man, and she was kind enough to come back and talk about working with him on the Song of the Miraculous Hind. And I also want to give a shout out to Anna Klanikze, who did a heroic job once again of live translation from Hungarian into English while we were
she did an
talking.
Amazing job.
Yeah.
That can't be easy.
Yeah. No, she's worked with us on several of our Hungarian animated releases. And in fact, we'll be talking with her soon with the great Bela Ternovsky, who's the director of Cat City 1 and 2. And we're going to be interviewing Ternovsky for an upcoming sort of deluxe expanded edition, sort of the Cat City collection of both films, which I don't think we've mentioned before. So I think that's new information.
You just spilled the beans.
I just spilled the beans.
I think that's two new title. We didn't mention the title, but two new film drops you've mentioned already.
Already, we're not even half an hour in.
Not even half an hour in. But yes, so for fans of great Hungarian animation, we are. So I think we've been out of print for a little while now on Cat City, and we decided to license the sequel, also directed by Bela Ternovsky, and we're going to talk with him shortly about work on both of the films, and that interview will be included on this deluxe expanded edition. So, for people that got upset about the Pied Piper, this will be a release of Cat City 2 that you get Cat City 1 for free with.
I love how salty we are always going to be about the reaction to that.
No. And then we have a visual essay by film historian Evan Chester, who also contributes amazing essays to a lot of our especially animated releases, where he goes into a lot of the thematic and historical references, kind of the framework. It's in some ways you might want to watch Evan Chester's visual essay and then watch Song of the Miraculous Hind, because it does give you a tremendous amount of information.
That's actually a really good idea. There's Cathedral New Emotions as well.
Yeah.
The visual essay, the documentary on Cathedral. Like, watch the doc and then watch the film. I think you'll get so much more out of the film if you do it that way. And the same with Miraculous Hind. Listen to the visual essay, learn a bit about the history of what's being shown, and then when you watch it, you'll get so much more out of it.
The deluxe edition has beautiful artwork incorporating the original animation by our graphic designer, Beth Morris, who works on all of our releases. She's based in Cardiff, Wales, and does a phenomenal job. There's a 60-page illustrated booklet with new essays by film critic Walter Chaw, who contributes to all of our releases, and film historian, particular animation historian Jenny Barker, who has also contributed to a lot of our animated releases, and they're both fantastic. I hope that people take the time to read through the booklets, because we're able to collaborate with a lot of amazing writers and historians. And I read them, and I have to say I learn a tremendous amount about films that we've worked on in some cases for years. And I'll go, oh my God, I never knew this about the production of the film or the genesis or how it connects. Walter in particular is able to connect films to the works of other directors that had never occurred to me, and like a light will go on. And
oftentimes I'm
reading,
reading,
oh my God, that's amazing.
Yeah, oftentimes I'm reading the essays and a title will get mentioned, and I'm like, oh shit, we should find that one.
Great stuff. Walt Chaw. Speaking of, shout out. He's not doing well at the moment. I hope he's doing better.
Yes.
Yeah, he posted he was in the hospital, so we were sending healing thoughts and prayers to Walter.
I hope it's not too serious, and he's back at his keyboard soon, because being stuck in a hospital is no fun.
Yeah. Well, he teaches and he writes.
Yeah.
And, he does all sorts of fantastic stuff to spread love for cinema from all over the world. So
he's doing more for home video now than he ever has. I think you guys have really helped get his name out there. He's spreading the love around.
I'm his biggest cheerleader. So if anybody asks, I'll be like, yes, hire him.
Yeah. No, he's
not too much though, because he needs time to work on our stuff.
Got to be selfish about it a little bit.
A little bit.
Anything else on Miraculous Hind, or should we jump over to the land of Plimpton?
I think that's it. We can gab about Bill Plimpton's amazing Hair High, which is our fourth Bill Plimpton release on Blu-ray, if I'm not mistaken. We've previously put out the tune I Married a Strange Person and Mutant Aliens, and so we're kind of continuing our collaboration with Bill. And Hair High is, I know it sounds kind of crazy to say this about a Bill Plimpton film, but it is one of his most unhinged movies. It's basically his kind of homage to high school sort of teen dramas and musicals. So it's kind of a mashup of Grease, Hairspray, Bye Bye Birdie, Rebel Without a Cause.
It's his 1950s high school musical.
Yeah.
But it's Bill Plimpton. So
it's Bill Plimpton. So you've got reanimated frogs, and you've got all sorts of writhing teenage tongues, tonsils, lips.
I think it's flies having sex.
The football mascot experiencing an uncontrollable erection during a game and humping everything in sight is one of the single most deranged and imaginative sequences in any of Bill's filmography. It is really amazing. And I have to say, you'll see these and you go, oh my God, I can't believe he actually went there in like 2D hand-drawn animation. Because you have to think, you got to like think that gag out, and it takes a long
long time to draw it. Like he's got to just be sitting at his table giggling. Like,
So Hair High was, I think, kind of by Bill's own admission, was his kind of superstar movie, because he lined up this amazing roster of voice talent. Sarah Silverman voices the female lead, who is the head cheerleader at the school. Cherry. Dermot Mulroney does the kind of lunk-headed star quarterback Rod. The protagonist of the film is voiced by Eric Gilliland. His name is Spud, and he's the kind of geeky, bumbling new kid in school. David and Keith Carradine voice characters Beverly D'Angelo, Martha Plimpton, who is Bill's distant cousin and actually helped him assemble a lot of these amazing actors for the film. Tom Noonan, Justin Long, Ed Begley Jr., and he even managed to rope in two other famous animators, Matt Groening, who I'm sure everyone knows, creator of The Simpsons and Life in Hell, and legendary figure, and Don Hertzfeld. And they also contribute voices to the film. And this is actually one of Bill's lesser known movies. I'm not quite sure why it's not as well known for a lot of people.
Yeah, it's kind of bonkers. Like it's a classic Bill Plimpton movie, like in every way. It's like you almost wonder, is like, did people shy away from it because it did have big name stars in it? Like they were like, they're like, think Bill sold out. It was like, Bill didn't sell out. It's still very Bill Plimpton.
It's amazing. One of my favorite visual gags in the film is, of course, Hair High. So there's a lot of amazing, surreal comic stuff with hairdos. But at one point, Rod, the character voiced by Dermot Mulroney, takes off his football helmet, and his hairdo and helmet are both in the same shape. It's kind of enormous. I don't even know.
It's like a pompadour, right?
Yeah, his football helmet is shaped basically like a massive pompadour. It's just fantastic. So,
I love this movie. I'm so glad that it is being released. And this package. First of all, new Bill Plimpton art on the outside, right, Craig?
Yes, it's the front cover is based on, I think it might have been a poster he had done early on, and then he did a completely new drawing for the back. But yeah, it's new stuff from Bill. It's gorgeous. And then if beyond that, the stuff on the discs are. This is a great relief.
Yeah.
Well, we included two classic shorts by Bill, Horn Dog and Shut Eye Hotel, from Horn Dog's from 2009 and Shut Eye Hotel is 2007. And Horn Dog is part of his the kind of guide dog series that he did.
And it makes sense that Horn Dog is on this disc.
Hair High is really about just like out of control libidos, right? And we also I was lucky enough to do another interview with Bill and Maureen McElleron, who has been his fabulous musical collaborator on a number of films going back to, I think she worked on Your Face, his early, kind of legendary short that helped launch his career in animation. The Tune co-wrote all of the songs for that, as well as voiced the lead female character. She worked on I Married a Strange Person up to his most recent film, Slide.
Yeah, her songs are hilarious. The lyrics are so clever. They're just hilarious.
Yeah, so I talked with Bill and Maureen about music they love, about the influences and inspirations for this film in particular, because I think it really touched on sort of the high school experience and the nostalgia that they both felt, both their own experiences as well as kind of movies and musicals of that period.
Yeah, great film. Everybody needs to see this, period. This is up there. I think this is my second favorite Plimpton, and I love his stuff. The last time we put out a Plimpton film, we got a journey into Bill's ear. What other things are we getting on the disc this time?
Well, we have yeah, I know. That was amazing.
People who have not watched the interview is going to be very confused by that statement.
I know. Well, I did a video interview with Bill, and at one point he had trouble hearing, and so he held the phone up to his ear. And, if you know Bill's films, very much about like kind of enormous outsized body parts, noses, ears, faces. And so the Zoom interview actually became a Bill Plimpton movie because you get this enormous close-up of his outside of his ear. But we have a visual essay, very excited, called Horny High, Sex, Identity, and Animated Anarchy in Hair High by film critics.
We've had some really great visual essays. This is one of my favorites.
I think this is our first one with Celeste.
It is the first one with Celeste. And yes, like first up to bat and knocked it out of the park. Like it's fantastic.
And we have to thank you, I think, for putting us in touch with her.
Helped out a little bit.
Yeah.
But really, all laurels to go to Celeste on this one. Obviously, this is a filmmaker that she's loved for years. Celeste is very famously, right before you all released The Tune, begging for a release of The Tune on a couple other podcasts, and it was just incredible timing. But I knew when there was more coming up on the horizon that I wanted to get her involved, and just grateful you guys gave her a chance because, man, I hope this leads to many, many more opportunities.
I will say that we do have Celeste lined up for another visual essay for one of our releases in the late spring, early summer. So we are super excited to continue working with her. We also have a commentary track. Actually, both releases this month feature commentary tracks by animation producer and podcaster Adam Rakoff, who has collaborated with Bill Plimpton for quite a while. Podcaster and film critic James Hancock, and filmmaker and podcaster Martin Kessler. And the three of them have such an incredible love and knowledge of animation. So both this and Song of the Miraculous Hind, they provide commentary for. And then for the deluxe edition, as you already mentioned, it has new artwork by Bill himself. And there are essays, once again, by Walter Chaw, whose work we love, and by Bill's longtime collaborator, John Holderreed, who I think recently retired. He had worked for Bill, I think, 30 plus years, and wrote a wonderful essay talking in particular about the casting of Hair High. Excuse me. And how they were able to afford, on a very small indie animation budget, all of the various actors involved. And in fact, at one point, he actually mentioned how much they paid the actors. And I said, John, I think we need to take that out, because people are going to think that they can get Sarah Silverman or Justin Long or Dermot Mulroney to do their film for its very low amount of money. And I'm like, first of all, it was early 2000s. It was a kind of SAG indie agreement for animation, and it was Bill Plimpton. I think,
Right.
most importantly, they were all like, yes, I will do it because it's Bill Plimpton. So
It's a big deal.
yeah. So we are super excited. Of course, we're hoping that we do more and more with Bill. We would love to continue working our way through his filmography for Blu-ray release. It would be great, of course, to have a special slipcase at some point where you could put all of your Deaf Crocodile Bill Plimpton releases inside. So keep your fingers crossed. We're hoping to have more Bill Plimpton to share with you in the near future.
Excellent.
I also we were able to port over a lot of the stuff from the DVD release. So this disc will include the 2004 commentary track that Bill did. There are these couple of just a few minutes long, but it's in the voiceover room when Ed Begley Jr. and another one with Sarah Silverman were in the recording booth doing lines for the film. There's a short video when they had a film premiere up in Portland. Bill kind of introduces it, and then there's some footage of him and some of the cast and crew talking about the film after the screening there. This one thing that was on the DVD, I'm glad we can include it, is they set up a camera over Bill's drawing board. And apparently during production, they kept that camera going, and then they did a time lapse. So you can just see basically him drawing the entire film in 7 minutes, which that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And the other thing that was on the DVD that we could include was it's kind of a scene breakdown where it shows his storyboard sketches and then some of the finished animation drawings, and then also the final scene, what it all looked like. So you can kind of see a breakdown of the process of how it goes from storyboard to animation cells being drawn to then it being animated. So that's pretty cool. So there were a couple of things on the DVD we couldn't include, but most of it was able to get ported over. So there's lots of cool stuff on there that you'll get to see. It's all SD. It's from a old DVD, but at least it will get to keep it and still be able to see it because there's some pretty cool stuff on there.
Which isn't super common on Deaf Crocodile stuff. A lot of the stuff that we've been including is all brand new stuff because there's not a lot out there, primarily because a lot of it's not in English. But a lot of the stuff that we have been able to include here is nice kind of cachet of archival stuff. So that's great.
Well, and it's often the case that for earlier DVD releases that the bonus features were produced by the company that or distributor that put out the movie, and so
that's why there were a couple things on the disc we couldn't. There were a couple things on the disc that somebody else produced. So it's like,
you don't have the rights, or you're not able to clear it to include. But in this case, we were able to some of the stuff that Bill had rights to. We were able to include.
Yeah, the stuff they'd basically done themselves. So
yeah, big deal. Anything else about Hair High?
I think that's it. We are super excited that it's an all animation month for us. I don't know that we had exactly
no, it wasn't planned
in advance.
No.
But as things kind of fall into place, and they could not be more different stylistically, but they're both the work of great masters. Marcel Yankovic and Bill Plimpton had worked for decades in animation. So I think you're seeing master animators and filmmakers in both cases really kind of like at the height of their their powers and just doing really wonderful stuff in both movies. And interestingly, both films that, for whatever reason, have been maybe less visible in their filmographies. And so in some ways, I think they're both hidden gems that hopefully people can discover and will become much better known as they're available.
Yeah. And I don't want to spoil anything for Hair High, but I mean, the story goes in a direction I didn't see coming, which was a lot of fun. But yeah, you'll have to watch it to know what I'm talking about, because I don't want to spoil it for people who haven't seen it.
Well, and I should also mention that we're going to be shipping out imminently. I think when the people hear this podcast, we will start shipping.
Yeah, hopefully shipping should have be underway on Monday. Yeah,
for our collection 3x Tuvo Tullio by the great master of Finnish melodrama, and that was actually our release in late November, but was delayed. We had some production delays in the pipeline, which we've now made some adjustments, and hopefully everything will be caught up. And then we'll also be shipping Treasures of Soviet Animation Volume 3, the short films of Yuri Norstein, which is our late December release. So those are both going out in the mail to subscribers and everyone who pre-ordered and has been patiently waiting for those. And those are both fantastic. I can't wait for people to experience Tuvo Tullio's work. Sensuela, Cross of Love, and Restless Blood are all jaw-droppingly insane and wonderful. And Yuri Norstein's short films, when you see the restoration work that Craig and with I think Michael Coronado helped with those.
He helped with some of those,
right?
Yeah.
On The Tale of Tales, and of course Hedgehog and the Fog, and The Heron and the Crane, and it is an almost complete collection of Norstein's short films. It's essentially everything that he had done with Soyuz Film, the famed Russian animation studio that we've been working with now on the Treasures of Soviet Animation series. There are a few bits and bobs that sort of fell outside his work with Soyuz Film, some commercials and an episode for a Japanese animated omnibus film that aren't included. But essentially the 9 shorts that we have are the majority of Yuri Norstein's work, and it's phenomenal. When you watch it, and it's barely it's like, we're talking about like an hour and a half total of work, and yet you see, once you watch it, why he is widely considered one of the greatest living animators in the world. Yeah. Because The Tale of Tales, Hedgehog and the Fog, these are utter masterpieces.
I mean, honestly, those are the two that always get mentioned, but I mean, after going through them, the Fox, the Fox and the Hare, and the Heron and the Crane are both so good. The Fox and the Hare is just this cute story that I just love, and I love the way they tell it, and then the Heron and the Crane just visually is so stunning. It's so beautiful. It's like a slightly different style than some of his other stuff, and it's got this like muted color palette, but just works so beautifully. It's such a beautiful film.
Well, and then some of his lesser known works that have been restored and included here, like the Battle of Kerzhenets, which is inspired and incorporates a lot of like medieval Russian icon paintings and imagery, is stunningly beautiful, just overwhelmingly gorgeous. I think that's one of the qualities that we get so excited about. Certainly you can see it in Marcel Yankovic's work, is, I guess, it's sort of a painterly quality where you can actually see the work of the animator. It's why we get so excited by kind of traditional analog, hand-drawn, hand-painted animation. And Craig restoring this, I know it's one of his very favorite things to work on. So those two are shipping out, and then just a few days after that, we will be shipping our January releases for Krakatit, The Amazing Czech, Atomic Age, sci-fi, thriller, noir.
I really can't wait for people to see this.
Yeah, and White Sun of the Desert, which is a famous Soviet red western that we're putting out. So for the people who have been patiently waiting for some of our releases from the end of 2025, you're going to be getting them, and the January releases very close together, and then in late February we'll be releasing these two wonderful films, Miraculous, Hind, and Hair High. Followed with the other big news that we announced this week for our late March release is that our new 4K restoration of Grigory Kromanov's amazing Estonian science fiction film Dead Mountaineers Hotel has been invited to screen at the Berlinale Classics division of the Berlin Film Festival. And Craig and Michael and Tyler, who are furiously working away now to put the finishing touches on this new 4K restoration of Dead Mountaineers Hotel, so it can premiere in less than a month.
Yeah, the invitation to Berlin was fantastic, but it did. It just took like 3 or 4 weeks of time we had to finish the job. Just like, it's got to be done early now. Like, oh shit. But yeah, we just saw some of the grade from Tyler, and it was like, Michael and I spent a lot of work cleaning it up, but the grade wasn't there yet, and so it still just was like, it looks all right. And then I've seen some images from Tyler now, and I was like, oh, Tyler, you're a fucking magician. Like, it looks so good.
And it's such a geometrically beautiful film. I cannot wait for people to see it.
It's also, intentionally, it was shot a lot of it nighttime, so it's quite dark in terms of a lot of things are happening in the shadows. So even if you go online and you see the previous stills that people have pulled, like screen grabs, a lot of them look very dark and trying to see details in the shadows. And Tyler just sent us a whole slew of images from his new color grade in the restored film, and it's just stunning. So we're super excited for the film to premiere at Berlin. It's actually the second film that Craig has restored, invited to screen. The first was Bela Tarr's kind of legendary 7.5 hour epic drama, Satan Tango. And we have to say how sorry we were to hear of Bela Tarr's passing recently. One of the great legendary filmmakers who passed away in the last.
That was very surprising.
Yeah.
I know he had been having back problems, some kind of severe back problems, but wasn't expecting to hear he had passed.
So we're going to be releasing Dead Mountaineers Hotel in late March, and then we'll be sharing more and more information in the next couple weeks about our April release, which will be fairy tale films from East Germany's DIFA Studios from the early 60s to the late 70s. The Märchenfilme subgenre, these fairy tale movies, they did over 40 of them, and many of them are incredibly strange and surreal and wildly entertaining. Obviously made for kids, but with a kind of crazy Sid and Marty Krofft meets Pee-wee's Playhouse vibe to them that is just jaw-dropping. One of the films I describe as kind of like David Lynch behind the Iron Curtain, because the furry anthropomorphic forest creatures in it are so bizarre. And I can only imagine growing up in East Germany in the 1960s and having seen one of these movies, it would literally have haunted my dreams for the rest of my life. So we're super excited. We've actually have several big projects in the works with the DIFA Film Library. And it's really interesting. The DIFA Foundation in Germany is in charge of preserving and restoring the hundreds and hundreds of feature films, documentaries, shorts, newsreels that were made by the state-run DIFA studios for decades. And they actually have a branch, the DIFA Film Library at the University of Massachusetts Amherst, which helps to distribute these films in North America. And so we've worked with them this past year, 2025. We put out 2 wonderful science fiction films, Signals, A Space Adventure, and In the Dust of the Stars. And then this box set, which is coming out in late April, of fairy tale films, will be our second project with them. And then, Craig, can we talk about the third project, or is that giving away too much? No,
Too soon.
Ryan.
Too soon.
Too soon.
Way too soon.
It's coming, though. Before the end of the year, it's coming. Very different. Let me put it that way. It's going to be very different than sci-fi and fairy tale films.
And that's putting it mildly, saying it's very different.
Hopefully it will be a sock in the jaw, as they say. And it's one we're super excited about. Actually, I think, Craig, this might have been your idea for this. I don't want to give away too much because my wife says I always give away too much. She's like, when you pitch your own movies, you always tell people the entire story and give away the ending. But we're really excited about these 2 big sets. We have a.
Oh, you did just was on Facebook. You posted this DIFA fairy tale, the variant logo that we'll be using on that one.
Chris actually released that, but we told him it was okay.
Yes. Yeah. So we got another variant logo for that one. So yeah, we actually have yet another variant which we haven't revealed yet for our 5th anniversary, because we're actually celebrating for I don't know if there is an actual birthday, but we kind of tend to kind of stretch it out now over late 2025 and early 2026. It's the 5th birthday for Deaf Crocodile as a company. It also neatly aligns with the fact that Crack-A-Teat is our 50th physical media release, DC 050, on Blu-ray. Have to enormous thank you. We've started a social media campaign for people to send us images of their collections of Deaf Crocodile Blu-rays and 4K and which ones they have, how they arranged them. If you can I'm always surprised how many people have everything. Like,
yeah.
Well,
and when I say everything, I mean
all the variants,
all of the variants, all of the. Like, I used to put some postcards out, like, in packages when I'd send stuff, when I was shipping stuff myself. Like, they have everything. I'm like, I don't even have everything.
Well, and I'm going to say, we love our animal family members. We love our kitties, our dogs, I've had hamsters, tree frogs, all sorts of wonderful animals that have shared our lives. And if you can get one of your animal family members to pose with your Deaf Crocodile discs, I know this isn't going to be easy, but if you can do that, we will pick our favorites and we will come up with some special prize to send you. if you can get a shot with your kitty or your dogs or your birds or lizards or tarantulas, whatever wonderful animals.
Hissing cockroaches.
Cockroaches, hissing, spitting cockroaches, whatever you got. Those big Madagascar ones. Post them, and we will come up with some kind of special.
Because we're pet crazy people, so we always love showing pictures of our pets, but equally we love seeing pictures of people's pets. So.
We love seeing any silly pet videos. Yeah, clearly the algorithm has figured me out, because I'll get online and it's like, here are silly husky videos. I was like, you would think I wouldn't have time because I have a silly husky, but no, I'm always a sucker for more husky videos. And we're going to be doing some more fun social media giveaways. We are going to also be kind of upping our presence on Letterboxd. We have a new Letterboxd home that our social media and PR manager, Chris Senko, is now working on. So that's something that we're going to be posting.
Previously, Deaf Crocodile's Letterboxd account was unofficially just my personal account. No, Deaf Crocodile's got its own account now.
Yes. So we're going to be posting links to a lot of cool stuff there, and for people that spend a lot of time on Letterboxd like we do, I think there's going to be some very groovy stuff there.
Well, and the other thing that is running right now, we are sharing a social media campaign where if you share a pic of just your collection and you use the hashtag Deaf Crocodile with the P instead of a D, we will share some of the favorites of those every single Friday. So if you want to have the world see your collection, share that hashtag anywhere. We'll try to find it.
Yeah. Hey, and before we wrap up, Ryan, you had a big announcement in your home video career this past week.
Yeah, you probably should mention that.
Maybe we could talk about that a bit.
We should. But before we jump into that, I'm going to do one more Deaf Crocodile thing. Thanks for trying to give me the floor. I'm going to take it for more Deaf Crocodile promotion real quick. It is the latter third of January as you're hearing this, which means you only have 10 or 12 days left, depending on when you hear this, to vote in the 2025 Shelf Shock Rewind Awards. And we've not talked about this at all yet, but Deaf Crocodile is once again up for more than a handful of them. The first one is the very first category of the night, which is the best pre-code and silent film release. And Alrane and the Student of Prague, which did very well. That is up against some pretty formidable titles like Hell's Angels from Criterion, but this is a really good release.
But they did those other ones have a Dave McKean cover?
Not a single one. I was about to say it.
No. And there's more Dave McKean artwork coming.
Yeah. Those are two very cool silent era films.
They are.
When you see the artwork that he's done for the next one as well. Now, literally, it's still a little ways down the road, and he got so excited. He's like, here. He sent us the finished artwork already, and we're like, wow, that's the earliest we've ever gotten.
He also knows his schedule can get crazy, and he's like, I have the time now. He's like, I know you don't need it for another 6 months or so, but I'm going to do it now.
But here you go. The next category that you are competing against some other formidable talent, including Deaf Crocodile. You've got two titles in this next one. Best animation release, and that is going to include Gwen in the Book of Sand and I Married a Strange Person. Now, if everybody were joining together to try to get one of those to win, Craig, what is your pick from those two? What do you hope wins Best Animation Release of 2025?
You're doing a
I know it's like picking children. I get it.
Personally, I'd have to go with I Married a Strange Person. I just feel it's the ultimate Bill Plimpton film, because all of his films are what crazy shit goes through his mind, and he makes a movie of it, and the main character in that literally happens is whatever he thinks comes to life. So it's the perfect Bill Plimpton vehicle. I would.
That's
Gwen is so beautiful, though.
See, I would have gone for Gwen in the Book of Sand simply because
but we don't want
Jean-Francois
the vote
Leguine's
split.
work is so criminally underrepresented here in the U.S.
It's true.
His work is so great. He is one of the great master French animators, still continuing to put out amazing films. And yet so few of them have seen any kind of release here. Gwen in the Book of Sand was his first film. Many people think it's his greatest masterpiece, and it is so visually stunning.
But Flow is going to win.
Most likely. Criterion has the name, sadly.
Yeah, it's Criterion. It's Flow. It's a cat movie. We don't stand a chance.
Which is really sad because you are the animation company.
Plus, our votes are getting split between 2 nominations. So, congratulations, Flo.
Wow. Craig just said, vote for Flo.
I didn't say vote for Flo.
Go, Gwen, go.
Yeah, no, there's it's a pretty stacked category with releases. There's some good stuff in there.
One that I was thrilled to see a Deaf Crocodile nomination for, because it means people actually responded to it, because I think it's a really great one. Best audio commentary for Arna Venema and Mike Leader on Inflatable Sex Doll of the Wastelands.
Oh my God, their commentary is fantastic. Those guys were... That actually is one of my favorite audio commentaries that we've put out. Super engaging, super funny, incredibly informative and well researched. For every time we say it, Inflatable Sex Doll of the Wastelands, we kind of chuckle. It is a pretty ridiculous title for a truly amazing, destabilizing, and sort of time fractured noir.
There's
which is more like Kiss. It really is sort of the Japanese equivalent of Kiss Me Deadly, or Branded to Kill, which it is sort of a companion film to, because the director had collaborated on he contributed to the script to Seijun Suzuki's Branded to Kill, and they were friends. And
there's lots of films that have come to the United States and they've changed the title, and usually for no good reason.
Yeah.
Why didn't this one get a
Dutch Wife? Well, let's just use the other title, Dutch Wife from the Desert. Dutch Wife of the Desert. But that's not an improvement either.
But that's basically just a translation, a different translation of the Japanese title. So it's the title has really made selling this film difficult.
I know, because people, it technically was part of the pink film subgenre, but if you watch it expecting any kind of erotic stimulation, you're going to be sadly
it's
disappointed.
Not,
it's much more like John Boorman's Point Blank or Christopher Nolan's Memento. It really is. It jumps backwards and forwards in time. You really are spinning down this insane rabbit hole. And I think the people who have actually seen it now, and especially the restoration that Craig did, again, this is one of his most miraculous restorations, because as far as we know, there was only a single print that has survived for this film that was scanned and by Rapid Eye in Germany, and it was in really rough shape. Not only the visual restoration, but we also had to bring in audio mechanics in Burbank in LA to restore the audio. And this is probably the best it's ever going to look. And 100%. It looks astonishing. If you saw what it looked like before and what's on our Blu-ray.
I love the film so much. If by some miracle somebody's like, oh, we found the original negative, I would 100% be on board to restore it all over again, in 4K if the better element shows up. It's such a great film. Just ignore the title.
Or don't. It's provocative.
Yeah, but it's
if you love Kiss Me Deadly, which probably my single favorite film noir ever made, I think you will really love Inflatable Sex Doll of the Wastelands, because it has a similar It's like
Well, the first
running.
half
It's like running down a darkened hall backwards, where
Which
you're
literally happens.
You're literally racing backwards down a hallway and have no idea what you're going towards. You kind of see what's rushed past you, but you don't know where you're headed or what awaits.
I mean, honestly,
that is the feeling of watching Inflatable Sex Doll.
Anna Kaperska does all of our trailers, and I love all of them. I think her trailer for this was my favorite trailer we've had yet.
Ooh.
So just go watch the trailer. That gives you a real good sense of the film. So yeah, just go on YouTube, Vimeo, look up that ridiculous title with the word trailer in it. And yeah, the trailer's fantastic.
Yeah, it's funny.
And
There are a handful of movies that we've put out which have sold well, but not as quickly or as well as some of the kind of the other heavy hitters. And if you have not taken a chance, buy Inflatable Sex Doll of the Wastelands. Get Time of Roses. Get Unknown Man of Shandigor. Get Benny's Bathtub. Get Assassin of the Tsar. These are some of the films we've put out, which again have not sold in as huge numbers, and we love them all.
Yeah, Shandigor is one of my
films.
I've said it, I think, numerous times on the podcast that Shandigor is one of my favorite releases we've done, and it was our first release. So a lot of people didn't know who we were at that point, and new releases always get all the attention. So it's just kind of, we're at number 50 now, and it was number 1. So it's a great film.
Speaking of which, we did actually reveal on Discord a few days ago another title we're putting out later this year is Danish director Jens Raven's amazing late 60s black and white sci-fi thriller, The Man Who Thought Life. And if you're a fan of either Unknown Man of Shandigor or Time of Roses, this kind of dystopian, disorienting black and white sci-fi films from the late 60s, or TV series like The Prisoner or The Avengers in particular, which have kind of surreal mod visual style to them, you will really love The Man Who Thought Life as well. And we're collaborating with the Danish Film Institute, first ever U.S. release of that. So, but that one was already revealed on Discord, so Craig, you can't get mad at me for gabbing about it.
2 more awards in the pipeline, possibly. One is Best Annual Slate from a single small slate boutique label. So this is anybody that released 15 or less releases in 2025, which notable because this is probably Deaf Crocodile's last year to be eligible in this.
For sure.
We weren't supposed to be available this year, but because those last two titles were late, we got in through a loophole.
Through a technicality. I love it.
So I was like, those aren't shipping till January. That puts us right at 15.
It is perfect. But then the other one that really ties into this, so we can talk about both of them, is you were nominated for literally Best Region A Label. That is pretty big. Out of all of them, you're one of the top 5 from all of the nominators.
That is pretty exciting.
Thank you to everyone who nominated us there. And I know we actually get a lot of comments and complaints about why we don't release region free. And it's because we work with rights holders worldwide and we license rights almost always. There's a few films that we have worldwide rights on, but most of them we license for North America only. Either that's all that's available or financially that's what makes sense for us. And so we do, our releases are encoded for region A. So if you are based outside of North America, you need an all region Blu-ray player, which hopefully everyone listening to this has, because then you can also watch films from region B distributors and from around the world. So,
And international shipping has gotten so absolutely bonkers expensive.
It's true.
That I mean, it's there's not that many people that are willing to pay more in shipping and customs fees than the discs themselves cost. So it just doesn't make sense to even if the discs themselves were region free, we'd still have to ship them, and it's going to cost you a fortune to get them.
Right.
So it just makes more sense, for a region B label to license these things.
Yeah. So we are not trying in any way to punish, people who are, in region B countries. It's just that our operation and our business model and the licenses that we do with rights holders are almost always exclusively for North America, for the U.S. and Canada, and we in fact, we put it in the contract that we will encode them so that somebody can't pirate them or release them in other regions without having to pay the rights holder.
It would cost so much more to license world rights.
Yeah.
And we don't sell that much stuff outside the US because it costs so much to ship. It's just cost prohibitive for people to outside the US to buy our stuff. It's just so expensive.
We wish it wasn't. Yeah, we wish international shipping were a lot cheaper, but
that way it would be cheaper for us to buy stuff too.
Exactly. Can we talk about antenna now?
Yeah, we can talk about it for a moment.
Okay.
So this last week, let
me ask you. I'm going to turn it around.
Let's do it.
Ryan Verrill, you had a big announcement this week. Can you talk a little bit about what it was?
Sure, just a little bit. Me and my partners, Mr. Billy Ray Bruton and Francis Galuppi, have announced that we have founded Antenna Releasing. This is a brand new film distribution company that is not just home video, but pure film distribution as a whole, with theatrical releases and streaming and VOD. And later this year, we will be starting with home video stuff ourselves. Francis Galuppi will be working on the creative side. He is just like Craig, more in-depth knowledge of art than myself. So I will be leaning on him purely for that. Billy Ray Bruton is huge on the theatrical side, as he's got a massive history in film festivals and programming and curation, and has one of the best Rolodexes I've ever seen. That sounded like a euphemism. It was not. And me, I have, all this experience in home video, and I just cannot wait to put my love and passion into some of those releases for everybody. We announced our first title, which is Stolen Kingdom. This is a documentary from 2025 that made its premiere at Slamdance last year, and it's incredible. It is a really fun combination of urban exploring and Disney lore and fandom, all mixed together, culminating in a story that is genuinely true crime. And if you are a fan of any of those, you will likely love this documentary. It is incredible.
You will like it.
You will lovely like it. It is coming theatrically starting in May, and we will be putting out a home video release of that eventually. That will not be Spine One of home video, but cannot wait to share that one with you all.
Looking forward to it.
And there's more news about home video, obviously, to come.
Tons. There's so much I can't wait to share, but it's not time, and I'm going to try to be a little less like Dennis and reveal 18 titles ahead of time.
Okay.
First of all, gets excited.
Did Maria?
Me too.
Did Maria talk to you guys?
She paid me $5 to warn you, but
she did. She's always like, you just pitched your movie and told the entire story.
That being said, you are truly great at making people want to see these. So thank you for that, Dennis.
We're lucky that we're able to work with so many filmmakers, distributors, rights holders worldwide to kind of shine a light on these wonderful films. That's really kind of we see our role as trying to present hopefully the best possible version that is truest to the filmmaker's intent. Both, creatively and in terms of like bringing it to the market, trying to create really cool artwork that's eye-catching that people will hopefully, want to keep on their their shelf for many years and revisit again and again, because we're all physical media collectors. And as we Craig, I just love that wall of spines behind you. It's just fantastic.
It's beautiful.
Those are all our releases, right?
It's all our releases, and you'll notice that shelf is full.
Oh yeah.
I don't know where the next titles are going to go.
Yeah. So we are super excited about Antenna because it's one of our great friends and collaborators, Ryan, and Billy Ray. We think is fantastic. We haven't met Francis yet, I think. Is that right? I don't think we've...
I love to be able to say this, but Francis is currently filming the next Evil Dead film, so he's a little busy.
Wow. Now, which of the kind of sequels or recent ones did he direct?
He has not done one of the ones that have already been released. He is doing the one that is coming out in 2027. There's also one coming out in 26. So he is going to be doing, what would that be, the seventh Evil Dead film.
Yes. Mario and I just watched Evil Dead Rise, actually. We had not caught up with. So we saw that. We are huge, huge fans of the original films and big fans of the TV series as well.
I got a question because sorry to go off on a tangent, but that's what we do. I love Sam Raimi's films so much. I've avoided seeing any of the stuff that he wasn't involved in. Do they keep his fun? Because that's what I liked about his films is that they're horror, but they're as much comedy as they are horror. Like they're just a lot of fun. Like if the fun was gone, I don't think I'd like it as much.
The ratio is nowhere near as high.
No. The TV series is much more
100%
indicative of the style of the first three. And honestly, it really isn't until like number 2 where you start to see a lot of the humor come in. Also, Bruce Campbell really starts to develop the kind of like deranged, Elvis in Vegas kind of personality of Ash. It is like the first one is super fun, but I think it's not until you get to like Evil Dead 2 where you really start.
Yeah, the first one's much more straightforward horror. I mean, it has moments, but. I'm just a huge Sam Raimi fan that's what I want to see.
But he's got a new film coming out. Send Help.
Yeah, Send Help. Also does not look quite as fun, but does look very good.
Rachel McAdams, right?
Rachel McAdams and Dylan O'Brien, who was incredible in 2025 in one of Craig's favorite films from last year, Twinless.
Oh, Twinless was...
I have not seen Twinless yet.
I was... Ryan, I watched it mostly on Ryan's recommendation because he was saying how good it was. Because it didn't sound like something I'd be interested in. But everyone kept saying how great it was and that you can't tell anybody anything about it. You just need to go in blind. So I'm like, and then a friend of Roger's has suggested like to him the same thing. And so he's like, well, let's watch it. And Roger never wants to watch a movie. So when he was like, let's watch a movie, and couldn't get the remote out quick enough. And both of us were just kind of blown away. Like it is, again, you can't really say anything about it without spoiling anything.
Right.
It's fantastic. And it's not what you think. Like it's so good. Like
everybody needs
it's one
to
of the
see
best written films I've seen in ages. It's a rare film that doesn't go with the cliche ever. Respects your intelligence as an audience member. Like it doesn't just club you over the head with what it's saying. It just lets it happen and assumes you'll know what's going on. Just a fantastic, fantastic film.
So when you see on the Shelf Shock Rewind the write-ins for Twinless in every category,
it was either Ryan or me.
Or both.
Know who did it. We actually caught up this past week with a horror release from 2025 that we'd heard great things about, Bring Her Back, by the Philippou brothers who did Talk to Me. And Bring Her Back is really insane.
Harrowing.
My God.
The poster image on that gives me the creeps. So,
oh, yeah. For the first 25, 30 minutes, I was like, where is this going? Almost like after school special gone wrong. And then literally at about the 30-minute mark, it starts to get really insane and does not let up. And it is really, really fucked up. Excuse the French.
It truly is. It truly is.
It's like up there with Hereditary, which I love. The Ari Aster film, I think, is fantastic. I know Craig has given it the big thumbs down. I think Hereditary is a masterpiece.
I gotta be honest, I would say it's not much like Hereditary. It is on a completely different level. Hereditary's
you mean it's good?
Oh, Jesus.
Wow.
All right. Well, we had a good show. Thanks, guys.
There we go. It's going on. It's so funny. I have, and you guys aren't the only ones. I've run into so many people, especially hardcore horror fans, and I've made horror films who are like, no, I really don't like Hereditary. And
love Hereditary.
Especially as a parent.
Yep.
Hereditary, I found so unbelievably disturbing and haunting. And it's just they cast great people. I mean, in both films, actually. Sally Hawkins is fantastic.
She was amazing, yeah.
In Bring Her Back, the entire cast is really good. Billy Barrett and Sora
the cast
Wong.
Isn't the problem with Hereditary. It's the joke of a script.
Wow. This is completely gone off the rails here.
Well, I've removed Craig from the stream. Thanks, everybody.
No, he's gone. He's gone.
All
right, well, I encourage everyone to check out Bring Her Back. Bring Her Back is really good.
Hereditary, right up there with one of the worst films, written films I've ever seen.
All right, so main takeaways from today. Let's run through this real quick.
Wow.
One, let's pre-order Hair High. Two, we've got Song of the Miraculous Hind up for pre-order on 4K. You can vote for Deaf Crocodile in 6 different categories, 7 different options. You're going to have to fight yourself on one of them in the Shelf Shock Rewind Awards. I will put the link for that in the description of the podcast, by the way. Other than that, watch Ash vs. Evil Dead, watch Twinless, watch Hereditary in protest of Craig, and have a safe February and rest of January.
Thank you. And follow Antenna Distribution.
Antenna Releasing.
I forgot we talked about that, yeah.
On the various social platforms. Make sure you follow it. And Letterboxd. We'll be promoting it, but check out our new Deaf Crocodile Letterboxd, which is no longer Craig's personal Letterboxd.
It'll be.
But you can also check out to see what Craig's been watching. But
Antenna will have a big presence on Letterboxd too.
And it'll be embarrassing when people realize, like, God, Craig doesn't watch much of anything.
Yeah.
Well, and last year it would have been, Craig watched Inflatable Sex All the Wasteland 84 times.
84 times. Oh, another good one we just caught up with, Heretic with Hugh Grant. Oh, that's a creepy film too.
Fun movie.
That is a fun film. Hugh Grant, man, that guy's a movie star. You cannot take your eyes off of him. Whatever
Rising Star, check him out. I'd love to see what he does in his career.
I'd like to see what he does next. No, you're watching the film and you're like, wow, this is why we have movie stars, because he's really good.
That was the one from like a year or two ago, right?
Fall of 2024.
Yeah, I wanted to see that. I didn't get around to seeing that one, but I wanted to see that.
Oh, things go off the rails. That's another really creepy one. Yeah.
Yep. All right. Well, on the note of Heretic, don't be a heretic and go pre-order the newest slate from Deaf Crocodile. Have a good one. Thanks, gents. We'll talk soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, now for the lightning round.
I'm so good at lightning rounds. That's from Friends. It's my favorite show.
20 seconds on the clock starts now. Who is the captain of the USS Enterprise?
Oh, crap. Is it Captain Stubing? No, Morgan? Crunch?
Next question. Which superhero is Tony Stark?
Stark. Did Game of Thrones have superheroes? I only watched 2 episodes.
What planet were Luke and Leia born on?
Planet Fitness?
Oh, time's up. Sorry. And now, a word from our sponsor.
Hey everybody, Mandy Kaplan here. Please check out my podcast, Make Me a Nerd, where each week an incredible guest tries to baptize this mainstream mom into the world of sci-fi, fantasy, and all things nerdy. Available wherever you podcast.
That's our show, folks.
Wait, I just thought of it. Padme Amidala gave birth to her twins Luke and Leia on Polis Massa. No, that's dumb. Is it Planet Hollywood?
Hi, this is Tony Meaches.
Hi, and this is John Matthews.
And we are the co-hosts of the podcast Imprintcast, the podcast dedicated to the Australian boutique label Imprint Films.
Yes, if you want to know everything related to imprint or in the imprint world, this is the podcast for you as we cover announcements and also upcoming releases from the imprint lineup.
Yes, and we are not the only hosts on this show. We also have family members. They include Suzanne Boleyn, Paul Berryman, Jim Mulvihill, as well as Ryan Kendall.
Also joining us are content creators who contribute to the imprint releases, doing commentaries, essays. They're actually on the show discussing the releases they worked on via deep dive episodes covering various titles.
You can also watch our videos on certain episodes with the content creators as well as us, as well as the family members. And of course, you can always listen to this podcast wherever you listen to your podcast and our YouTube channel, Imprintcast.
And don't forget, Imprintcast is a part of Someone's Favorite Productions podcast network.
Thank you for listening. To hear more shows from the Someone's Favorite Productions podcast network, please select the link in the description